Welcome back to Presidential English. When you listen to different US presidents, you hear very different kinds of English. This is what we are going to explore. Some speak in a way that's messy, repetitive, and jumps from one thought to another. So much so, it is hard to follow. You've guessed who I'm talking about. Others, like Obama, speak with clarity, purpose, and authority. Every sentence has a shape. Every word feels chosen. And that's what makes President Obama's English worth learning from. He doesn't just talk, he builds an idea. And that's what you want to do, to build an idea with your words. Build it so clearly that you will be remembered for what you say. If you want to speak in a way that makes people listen in English or any language, this is someone you can learn from. So today, we are looking at a short piece from a speech Obama gave at Hamilton College in April 2025. And I'll show you how just a few phrases and words can give your English more clarity and power. First, the excerpt. And keep listening because the phrases in this short section are ones you can use in your own speaking right away. The excerpt. If you are a university, you may have to figure out, are we in fact doing things right? Have we in fact violated our own values, our own code, violated the law in some fashion? If not, and you're just being intimidated, well, you should be able to say, that's why we got this big endowment. Now we're at one of those moments where it's not enough just to say you are for something. You may actually have to do something. It is up to all of you to fix this. That's the excerpt. Don't worry if you don't understand every word. Just listen and enjoy the rhythm. Enjoy the language. I'll explain to you some phrases. Figure out. What's the phrase figure out mean? I need to figure out how to use my new phone. She's trying to figure out what to cook for dinner. You can guess the meaning from those two sentences? Figure out. So it means I need to think carefully until I find the answer. I need to solve a problem. I need to understand something. I need to figure out. I need to find out how to use my phone. I need to figure out how to use my phone. She's trying to figure out what to cook for dinner. She's trying to solve a problem. What to cook for dinner is a problem for some people. I don't know what to cook. Should I cook this? No, I cooked this last week. Should I cook that? No, he doesn't like that. She doesn't like that. I have to figure it out. So when you use figure out, you show that you're actively finding a solution, not waiting for someone else to do it. I'm trying to figure it out. To figure it out. So in Obama's speech, he said, if you are a university, of course, you are not a university. He's just saying it. If you are a university, you are a person. But just in case you are a university, you may have to figure out. What do you have to figure out? This is what you have to figure out. Are we in fact doing things right? That's your question. That is something that you have to think about, something that you find solution about. Figure out. The next phrase, in fact. This is very common. If you listen carefully, you'll hear this used everywhere. In fact, it's used to show that something is really true. In fact. and to add extra truth to what you have just said. Some examples. I thought the train was late. In fact, it arrived early. So, this is what you can say everyday life. I thought I was late for work. But no, in fact, I am early. In fact, I am early. Another example. We enjoyed the movie. In fact, we want to watch it again. We enjoyed it so much. In fact, we want to watch it again. So, in fact, strengthens your point and signals this is the truth. Pay attention. This is the truth. Pay attention. In fact, the next word is violated. This is a very strong word. It means a serious break of an important rule, law, or promise. He violated the non smoking rule by smoking inside the cafe. He broke the rule. He violated the rule. Another example, they violated the agreement by not paying on time. They broke the agreement. They broke the promise. So it is stronger than just didn't follow. As I said earlier, it suggests a serious break in trust or law. The next big word is intimidated. Don't be intimidated by this word. Don't feel scared when you're trying to learn more difficult English words. Don't feel pressured. Don't feel scared. Don't be intimidated. Example. She felt intimidated speaking in front of big crowds. I think that's very normal. Everyone feels scared. Everyone feels intimidated when speaking in front of big crowds. The boy was intimidated by older kids, by the bully. The boy was scared, was intimidated by the bully at the playground. So this word is strong. It captures not just fear, but it's a sense that someone is pushing you, really pushing you into silence or weakness. So it's very strong. Intimidated. Someone is pushing you, someone is forcing you, someone is intimidating you. Then this phrase that we've spoken before, if. Imagine if, but in this one, it is if you are. If you are. So you use this to talk about a situation for a certain person or a group. If you are. If you are. So if you are a driver, you must follow the rules. You must not violate the rules. If you are naughty, I will punish you. If you are this, if you are that. So it calls out, it points out to specific role, specific thing. So the listener knows that this is what it's about. If you are means it's talking about you. If you are, if you are not listening, it's very powerful. That's what powerful phrases and words that presidents use. So now we have seen it, a short slice of former President Barack Obama's speech. And already you've learned a few phrases and words that will make your English clearer, stronger, and more respected. This is why learning from Presidential English series matters. From Obama, he shows us that you don't need complicated vocabulary to sound powerful. You need the right words, placed it in the right order, and delivered with confidence. Every time you say figure out, in fact, if you are, you're not just speaking English, you're guiding the listener, showing them exactly where your thought is going. That's what great communications is. So don't just remember these expressions, use them. Use them in your daily work, use them in your studies, in your everyday conversations. In fact, you can use it to your wife. See, in fact, hmm, in fact, the more you use them, the more you feel the same clarity and authority in your own voice. If you are serious, if you are serious, there you are. If you're serious about English learning, you will you will revise this lesson. If you're serious, if you are a good student, you will use what you learn every day. You have to figure out how to do that. You have to think about how to do that. You have to figure it out. Ah, I have to figure out where to take my wife for dinner tonight. I've run out of ideas. I can't figure it out. In fact, maybe we should eat at home. That would be romantic. There you are.